Oh boy, just what I always wanted to do. Review more of the Real Fishing series of games. If you're not new around here, you've probably seen my scathing reviews on Real Fishing 1 and 2. I've condemned them for various problems that all bad fishing games suffer from. Bad controls, fish don't bite, mind-numbing gameplay, and more. Well, did they ever figure out how to make a good game? Natsume isn't well known for quality, as they make non-stop bad Harvest Moon games these days after all. So let's see if Real Fishing Wild is worth a play or not. You cannot customize the character in any way, as there's no character. You're just a fishing pole. Yep, you're just a fishing pole. So all you get to do is enter a name and then begin fishing. Lame, but very in line with Real Fishing. For controls, it's basic yet unintuitive. You use the D-pad to navigate the UI, which isn't fun. I hate those creative menus. They're just god-awful. Just stick to the basics. They work for a reason. As for fishing, you can only fish in one spot. Your goal is to catch one of each type of fish on the book page. Good luck though, as fish never bite, plus controls keep getting in the way. Use the analog stick to move left and right. A to cast, and the longer you hold it, the further out your line will go. However, to reel, the only way to do so is the right trigger button as your reel. B is your recast option. But when it comes to reeling in your lure, you can only do it basically really fast. As it turns out, the trigger is very sensitive. The less you press it, the slower it reels. The more you press it in, the faster it reels, which isn't very good as you'll struggle to maintain a decent speed to lure in fish that always scatter like someone shouted there's a furry convention next door.
Yeah, that's because the furries are in town. One of the largest furry conventions in the world happens right here in Pittsburgh.
You may be saying at your device, why not hold up the pole? Why not change the lure? Well, it turns out you can't.
Excuse me, what?
All you can do is reel in your line. There's no way to control direction or height of your lure. It will always sink to the bed of the river, unless you keep reeling it in. But that in turn is fast and scares off the fish. Starting to see the problem here? Also, once fish gets scared off, you get reset and must recast. Even if your line is far out, it gets reset every single time a fish loses interest in your line. It's just non-stop fade in, fade out, fish fleeing, and you reeling. The game is pure bullshit. While I want to solely blame the Dreamcast controller, I've played 2 other games in the series and know it's also just a bad game design, but also the Dreamcast controller. You may also be saying, well, why not just let the line be? That makes the lure sink to the bottom and fish don't bite, because they can't reach it because of collision meshes in the bed of the river and their models. Basically, unless it's near the surface or in the middle of the water, in between the surface of the water and the riverbed, fish will not bite it. Plus, they won't bother biting it anyways most of the time and just swim away or scatter. So what the fuck do you do?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
If you can miraculously get a single bite, the line just breaks instantly, giving you no chance of fighting back. There's no button to press or way to control the line's direction to lower tension. It just breaks every single time. But it is what it is. You can't expect anything else from real fishing. I mean, come on. You expected them to make a good game with good controls? Honestly, this game is boring. The JPEG environment, the lack of engagement, the boring gameplay, and oh so much more just hold it back. It should have been a fun game. It should have been decent. But it's real fishing at the end of the day. And all we can expect is the worst of the worst. We've officially found the worst fishing game for Sega Dreamcast, folks. Now that's quite an achievement. I thought Lake Masters Pro was going to be the worst. Alas, that's how life is. Always throwing stuff at you at random. Always changing plans, and you must adapt to the bullshit.
Again, it's like poetry.
The only good thing about Real Fishing 1, 2, and now Wild is the music is great. How bad of a developer do you have to be for the only highlight to your game is your soundtrack? Jesus H. Christ on a pontoon boat. Talk about pathetic. But pathetic and garbage is what Real Fishing is all about, folks. To think there's several more of these games out there for PS2, PSP, DS, 3DS, Wii, PS Vita, mobile, and PC? There's a PC game? Oh man, I'm gonna have to check that one out, ain't I?
Ah boy, here we go.
At the end of the day, Real Fishing strikes again with yet another piece of shit. It's a garbage game not worth your time, as it wasn't my 1 hour of life wasted on it. I was hoping they'd fix the issues of the PS1 games, yet they just repeated them. Bad controls, fish barely bite, lack of things to do, lack of variety, no multiplayer, lack of explanation, and boring JPEGs for the world don't help either. Honestly, I don't know if I want to continue these fishing game reviews, even though all that's left for Dreamcast are Sega Bass Fishing, Sega Bass Fishing 2, and Sega Marine Fishing. Lake Masters Pro and Real Fishing Wild just held me back from what joy I should have experienced with a genre I enjoy, and still, there's more bad than good within. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.